5,
stop
6,
looking at the
7,
camera.
8.
Welcome to the Chastyn and Jen's podcast.
We should just record that and have it be. That should just be our jingle.
I can cut that out and snip it and put some music behind it.
Our jingle.
I can actually create us a jingle now because I have software with music in it.
Do it. If you're watching us on YouTube, you might notice we have a slight change in background.
It's reversed from where it was.
Comfy as fuck, boy.
The background is now
It's also
behind the background.
Inception.
This is my blanket.
So, this is what we're doing. What are you drinking? It smells so strong.
It's not so strong. It's mango cranberry juice with bourbon.
Ew. The fuck? Okay.
Thank you for casting dispersions on my tastes.
Okay.
Want to taste it?
Yeah.
I figured you might. It's a good bourbon too.
Ew.
It's not the Jeffrey Dean Morgan stuff that we have coming. That'll be fun.
Oh my god, that is terrible. Okay. So.
It's probably the ice.
Sure. We haven't posted in a couple weeks. I took a little break.
Mm-hmm.
Things
no
got
apologies.
busy too. Priorities changed and it happens. We're doing this for funsies, but we back. And I've been listening to Jenna Julien a lot. Their podcast, I love it. I've been watching Jenna Marbles since she started YouTube. And I just listened to one that they did a few years ago. They did Choose Your Story. And I really wanted to do that because it was just so much fun. So, we're doing...
I've never done this. Like...
No, we're doing the horror category.
Oh, we are. I'm going to move my mic a little bit. Because I'm going to be looking at you and not over here, so I have to have it.
Hello?
I almost just want to hold it.
Can you hear me? Hold it how?
Like, take it off the bracket and just hold it.
Oh. Yeah, but then if you like hit it and move it, doesn't it make noises?
Quite a few of them, yes.
Yeah, so we'll just leave it like this. Hands free, BB.
Safe to drive beach.
Okay, so this is the like intro to get you to play the game.
Do they get to play too, or is it just us?
No, so how it works is we're on chooseyourstory.com.
Okay.
There's a shit ton of genres. There's like sci-fi, modern, hoary.
Hoary.
I meant,
There's some hoary stories.
I meant horror.
Hoary story.
Mystery.
What's the going?
Love and dating, like family friendly. They're all over the place.
Was hoary and family friendly?
Chance.
I'm sorry, I'm stuck on that.
It was a typo.
It's a slip.
Verbally. It's a verbal typo.
Got it.
And you read the like scenario or whatever, and it gives you options at the bottom.
I love that you said a scenario, not scenario.
And you choose your adventure, choose your story. So whatever you click on, chooses which way the story goes.
We're going on an adventure.
A bit. Yes, I was trying to do an accent. It didn't work.
I would like to do the rest of this podcast with an accent.
This is going to be really long, so can we get started? You keep interrupting me.
That's what she said.
So, oh my. Can we start?
Yes, please.
Okay, so when a young family moves into the sleepy little town of Daphne, they find themselves in a virtual utopia. The small cottage they move into is lovely, but not so old that it has problems. The people are friendly, a close-knit town with a population of only 300. Both of the family's daughters begin to make friends in their new school, and the husband and wife find themselves entranced with the romantic scenery. But if something is too good to be true, it probably is.
Dun, 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 dun.
All right.
I almost did little ghost noises during your reading, but I left you alone.
Like that?
Yeah, like.
Play it. Lyndon, calm down. Play the secret of Daphne.
Let's do it.
Are you ready?
Do I get to be Daphne? Or is Daphne the town?
Daphne's the town. Hey, Lyndon, come over here, please. Come on, over here. Come here.
Get away from the window with all the light.
Lyndon,
get over here.
come on.
Come on.
Hey, or you're gonna go to your bed.
Mm-hmm.
Missy. Okay,
Young lady.
are you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay. It seemed as if the countryside never ended. The longer the car drove along the old asphalt road, the more you began to wonder if your father was going to make you live like Laura Ingalls. The idea of moving to a small hick town was hardly your idea of a good childhood, as your mother put it. Rolling your eyes, you crank up the volume on your iPod, drowning out the sound of your father's old disco music playing in the car's CD player. For some reason, your parents acted as if they didn't understand why you were upset about the move. You snorted in annoyance, realizing just how self-absorbed they really were. They had yanked you out of the high school you had been planning to graduate from next year, away from all your friends, away from that boy you had just managed to get to notice you. Everything. Fuck my life, you think to yourself.
Bing bong.
Your little sister sits in her booster seat next to you, happily playing with her Game Boy. Oh, I love this. She had cried when she had to say goodbye to her friends, but she was only 4. All she had to do was eat glue with some kid in her new kindergarten class, and they would be BFFs. You, on the other hand, had to start from scratch and in the middle of the fucking school year. Our options are bitch at your parents, bitch about it to your friends. Which one do you want to do?
I say bitch at the parents.
You want to bitch at the parents?
I want to bitch
See,
at the
I'm going
parents.
to bitch about it to my friends.
Yeah, but I don't have friends to bitch about it too. So,
Well, you don't.
what are the friends going to do about it? At least bitching at the parents will cause some drama.
Oh, you want to bitch at the parents?
I want to bitch at the parents.
Okay.
In-home drama.
Bitch at the parents.
Here we go.
Okay. Let's see. We can take turns reading these quotes.
Yes, let's do that.
Yanking one of the earbuds off your head, you lean to the side to get a view of your parents. Your father yawns and continues driving, and your mother scowls out the window. It pisses you off. If they are going to be miserable, then why can't they be miserable at home? Okay, where are we moving again? You said, but what you meant was fuck you, and fuck you.
Daphne.
What, like the whore chick from Scooby-Doo? You almost spit it. Sorry. You almost spit and your mom whirls around with a glare that nearly froze your blood.
What's a whore? Your little sister inquires, not even looking up from her Game Boy.
Ren, don't say that. It's a bad word. Your mom shrieks, making your ears ring.
Ooh, Lydia said a bad word. Lydia said a bad word. Ren sing-songed? What's that mean?
Like how they said it. Like,
Oh,
Lydia
Ren
said
sing-songed. There we
Lydia
go.
said a bad word. Like that.
Lydia said a bad word.
Yeah.
Lydia said a bad word. No, I don't have to read that because I did it.
Okay. Shut up, Ren.
Lydia Eleanor Snow.
Oh, joy. Mommy dearest used your full name. Well, shit. Now you're in trouble. There's only one option, so we'll just click it. Okay. You should say this.
There it is. Daphne, your dad exclaims half-heartedly.
Yay, yay, Daphne! Ren bounces up and down in her car seat. Finally, you can't wait to stretch your legs as you crane your head in an attempt to see your new home. If there was a modern-day Newberry like in Andy Griffith, Daphne was it. You kept waiting for your Aunt Bee to waddle down the sidewalk. There were people walking along the sidewalk, going in and out of shops. At least there seemed to be an interesting in-town area. But it was no shopping mall. If there were people your own age in this place, they were all in school. Everyone dressed as if it was still the 90s. On the plus side, you would look like Malibu Barbie compared to your classmates, but on the negative, the guys probably didn't look much better. The town eventually ended into a suburban area, then continued down a gravel road. Really? A gravel road? The sign said Flower Street. Toto, we're not in Kansas anymore. We're in Hicktown.
I just want to point out, it's not Newberry, it's Mayberry.
Where?
They said Newberry like in Andy Griffith. It's Mayberry.
Modern day Newberry. Oh, I was just reading what they have.
I,
Okay, our option is to pull into the driveway. So
I say we leave.
we pull into the driveway.
Oh, damn it.
It's not how it goes.
Okay.
Do you want to read these?
I do. Ahem. Your dad pulls the SUV into the driveway of an old ranch-styled house. It was painted a pale blue, but the paint was chipped down to the previous white paint, showing through. It had a big screened-in porch with a brick carport. The lawn was thick and green, and beautiful dogwood trees grew freely around the house, blooming with their flowers. Okay, you had to admit, it looked like some movie star's country getaway. It felt a little glamorous to look around at all the old Georgian and ranch-styled houses which dotted the road. Sorry, it's a little far away.
Sorry.
Never too close or far from each other. It was different from the cookie-cutter house you had grew up in on the cul-de-sac. Next door was a whitewashed fence enclosing several fat horses. Upon seeing the furry creatures, Rin screamed with delight. Secretly, the little girl inside you squealed too. Even if they had pot bellies, their long manes and gentle eyes were just like you had seen in books and movies. But you had never seen a horse in person before. The car door opened and Rin was running straight for the horses. As she climbed the fence and sat on the top rail, several of the animals came trotting towards her. They probably wanted an apple or something. You walked up onto the porch and opened the screen door. It screeched in protest, begging for some WD-40 on its rusty hinges. Well, there would be no sneaking out through there after bedtime. The porch was big with a swing hanging off to the side. Big bay windows were next to the glass doors. Reaching for the knob, you are disappointed to find it locked.
Our only
Dun,
option
dun, dun.
is to investigate. So, investigate.
Wonder what we'll find.
Look around. Okay. Peering through the window, you can see an empty house with wooden floors. It looks like a living room with a big brick fireplace. Wispy white curtains outline the inside of the window, and you can barely see a hallway disappear from the corner of the room. It smells like an old house, but doesn't look like it will fall apart anytime soon. You have to wonder if your parents have ever even been here before. They had never left long enough to make this sort of trip and back. Surely they won't buy a house they had never seen in person. Look, it's just like the pictures, your mom exclaims, clunking in her high heels as she bounds up the steps and through the screechy screen door. Do you have the key, Mom? She points to the doormat. It should be under there. You go ahead. Leaning down, you flip up the old, moldy doormat and find a silver key underneath. It fit just fine into the lock on the door and turn the mechanism with a little jingling from your hand, and finally the door creaked open. The air smelled a little dusty and stale, as if it hadn't been opened in over a week. Directly inside the door was a kitchen. It was It was a little small. Okay. It was a little small and the setup was very old-fashioned. The countertops were brownish yellow, the oven was an old gas range stove, and from what you could see, there was no dishwasher. Great, that meant manual label. That meant manual labor for you. Straight ahead seemed to be a dining room, and to the left was a small area And to the left was a small area
to the left. Wait.
And a door to the right.
Wait. To the left, there is a small area. To the left?
Yeah, that's what it said.
Mind blown.
And a door to the right. I'm about to sneeze.
Don't do it into the mic. Bless you. I'll keep that audio. That was cute.
Okay. Opening it, you saw stairs leading up. Not liking how dark it was up there, you closed it again. Through the next door was a small living room you had seen through the window. Judging by the age of the house, it was probably once a parlor room. You continue to the hall and see that there is a much larger living room directly across from you. But you turn to the left and head down the hall. A small bathroom with pink tiled counters and a faded pink tub makes you wrinkle your nose. Pink? Really? That was so 70s. Continuing on, you found a bedroom with a big walk-in closet and double-paned windows. Further down the hall was a master bedroom with its own bathroom. You could only hope that Rin would be getting some huge playroom/bedroom upstairs. What the hell was that?
It was a dog.
Oh, and you would get to sleep down here. You did not want to go up those creepy narrow stairs. Do we try to investigate or go unpack?
Investigating sounds more fun.
Let's see if it'll let us investigate. Again. Look around.
You open the door to the walk-in closet and smile at all the shelves and space inside it. You could display all of your shoes in here and still have room for more. Well, if there was anywhere worth buying shoes at around this place. Running a finger along one of the shelves, you click your tongue in disgust as a thick layer of gray dust coats your index finger. Gross. That would really upset you.
Yeah.
Then you see a top shelf. Something just barely sticking over the shelf's edge catches your eye. It looks like paper, but has a shine to it. Licking your lips, you grab hold of the shelf beneath it and climb up by putting your feet on the lower shelves and hauling yourself up. You can just barely reach it as the shelves creak beneath your weight. The tip, I had to burp and it really upset the flow. The tip of your finger brushes the glossy paper and you can just barely lift it and inch it towards you, towards the open air. With a victorious smile, you watch it flutter down to the carpet below you and jump down from your perch on the shelves. Picking it up, you can see that it has an old picture. The girl in the picture is pretty, sort of 60s glamorous in your opinion. Who was she? Flipping it over, you see its flourishing handwriting, which recorded the date on the back. It says 0405, 1967. 4567. Bet that was one of those dates all the creepers said the world would end. You chuckled to yourself.
Oh no.
What have you done?
Sorry, I'm interrupted by Adobe Flash update. Okay, old photograph. Okay, so now we have an old photograph in our inventory.
Photograph.
Do we investigate more if it lets us, or go unpack?
You know I'm always a fan of investigation, but...
Look around.
Look around. But I think we should go unpack.
Oh, you think so?
Might just like to switch it up, but we can look around.
Let's look around one more time, see if there's anything else. If there's not, it'll tell us, fuck off, you know? Polite.
Do you think it'll tell us that? No. I really hope we click look around and it says fuck off.
The item cannot be used here. Okay, so now we have to go unpack.
So it said fuck off.
Oh no.
Read. Oh, what's going on? Are we in trouble?
No, I tried to save it just in case, but you have to have an account. So.
Like Dracula?
Huh?
Like a Count Dracula?
Okay, go unpack. You walk back down the hall and out the door. Your parents are already unloading their suitcases, your own laying on the ground waiting for you. It didn't take much sense to bring in your stuff before the furniture got here. It didn't make much sense. It's like take much sense. Okay, sorry. Starting over. It didn't make much sense to bring in your stuff before the furniture got here, but at least it was out of the car. Now all the makeup you packed at least wouldn't melt in the heat. It was a little humid around here.
Lydia, do you like it? Isn't it just so pretty? Your mom coos, clasping her hands together and staring at you dreamily.
Yeah, I guess it's cool. Can I have the downstairs bedroom? You ask, hoping that you can call dibs and avoid the creepy upstairs.
Sure. The upstairs has a big room with a bedroom and a bathroom, so we thought that would be good for Rin. Wow, that's a loud fucking airplane. It could be a playroom, she said, actually, sounding a little relieved.
Had she really thought I might want the upstairs to myself? Sure, the space and privacy would be great, but dang, it looked so freaky up there. Plus, if Rin was up there, she wouldn't be bugging me as much.
Pesty younger siblings.
A few days pass.
Dun dun dun.
Dun, dun, dun.
Oh, I like that better. Instead of like ominous dun dun dun, it's like merrily dun dun dun.
Yeah, I don't know. Just felt it was from my heart. Okay.
Sounded more from your throat.
A few days pass.
The movers came and unloaded all of our furniture. The house certainly looked much better now that the familiar furniture and wall decorations were inside. The weekend went by very uneventful. A few people came to introduce themselves, but they were older, with wrinkles and gray hair. Monday was the day you were really dreading, the first day of your new high school. It seemed like you hadn't even drifted off before your alarm began to buzz you awake. It was still dark outside, and you hit the snooze button. What kind of people would be your new classmates? Who would you sit with at lunch? Would they like you? Would you make any friends? Growing worried, you quickly realized that you weren't going back to sleep anytime soon. It was 6:30 in the morning. No need to shower just yet. Flipping on the lamp next to your bed, you gaze around the room at the shadows the light cast. Despite having all of your furniture and posters in it now, there was a little comfort or familiarity with it yet. Walking to your closet, you begin to look at the clothes you have hanging there. What should you wear? This place was so out in the middle of nowhere that you were almost afraid people would think your name brand clothing would be out of place.
Do we dress to impress or blend in?
Dun, dun, dun! I say we be who we are.
Dress to impress?
We dress to
'Cause that's
impress.
just who we are.
That's just who we are.
Ooh! You
What
hunt
do
through
you
your...
I can't see.
Well, we're not there yet. It's
Oh,
okay.
sorry.
You hunt through your closet and pull out a mid-thigh length jean skirt and a cute violet shirt with ruffles along the chest.
That's what I would choose.
It will look cute.
You look so cute.
With the silver ballet styled shoes you have, and the cut will show off your figure.
I agree.
It says shoe off, but I know what they meant. Typo.
I think you should read verbatim what we're doing here.
And the cut will shoe off your figure.
There we go.
At least it isn't too showy, but it will still make you feel as pretty as you usually do. You are already planning what to do with your makeup when you reach down to the lower shelf to get your shoes. Crouching down, you squint and take a closer look at the back of the cubby you have placed your shoes in. One of the boards on the bottom looks different from the rest, both in color and like it isn't sealed with paint like the rest of it. Reaching in, you pick at the edges of it with your long nails. It creaks and lifts upwards. Your curiosity piqued. You lift away the loose board and look down into the cavity between the bottom of the shelving and the floor. Something wrapped in brightly colored cloth lays in the hidden space. You lift it up and unwrap it, realizing that the cloth is actually a scarf. Inside is an old, tattered journal.
What?
Yeah. Diary.
We found a journal?
Now we have a diary, so now we
reading material.
investigate. Oh, it won't let us. Now we click on the diary.
No,
Use item.
Yeah, let's use it.
Oh, dear diary. Oh.
You can read this?
Can I read it?
Well, it's kind of juicy, so you should read it.
Okay. Dear diary. First day of junior year was fantastic. Kyle Jenkins has a car now. He's so dreamy. This morning he drove by while I was walking to school and offered to give me a ride. I loved having the wind in my hair, and since we were early to school, he offered to share a smoke with me before class. I think he likes me. This year I have third period with Christy. I'm so glad. Maybe this year I'll actually have some cookies that aren't burnt to offer Kyle after school. I wonder if he will pick me up again tomorrow. Nancy is in my last period of the day. She had already had detention during break and spent the whole class standing in the hall with her nose to the door. I don't get her at all. Nobody likes her attitude, and people only laugh at her when she backtalks the teachers. If she could hear what people say behind her back, maybe she would keep her mouth shut. I think she just likes getting spanked in front of everyone. There's going to be a big party down at the creek tonight. Somebody got a lot of drinks, and I know there will be good stuff to smoke. Maybe Kyle will be there. Cynthia.
Well, Cynthia sounds fun.
You close the diary.
Why would we close the diary? My turn. After getting dressed and eating a bowl of cereal, you sling your backpack over your shoulder and begin to walk to the bus stop. The diary tucked away in your backpack seems normal enough. Probably someone who lived in the house before and had nosy parents, so she needed a good hiding spot for her diary. But why would they just leave it behind when they moved? You want a dun-dun-dun? Okay. This Cynthia person seemed normal enough. You even kind of enjoyed reading her diary. It felt like you were invading someone's privacy, yet it gave you hope that there was fun to be had in this town.
Holy shit.
And Netflix just kicks on randomly. Ghosties. Alright. The way she casually mentioned smoking weed made you think that perhaps it was from the 60s. Not to mention spanking hadn't been allowed in school since before you were even born. The chick was probably in a nursing home by now anyway, so what would it hurt to read about her high school life? Plus, there was only one school in town. It was kind of cool to read about someone going to the same school you were about to enter for the first time. Only they were there 50 years before you. You reach the bus stop and sit on the curb of the sidewalk. You had expected it to take you long to get here, but you could already hear the bus in the distance. Its brakes screeched as it came to a halt in front of you and popped the door. All eyes were on you as you walked down the center aisle.
And what? Opened? You said popped.
Same thing.
You
Popped
would open?
and opened and popped the door. Dyslexic. 3
That's
seats
not
are
even
open for you.
this. No.
I have a condition. 3 seats are open for you. 1 is an empty seat. 3 seats are open for you. 1 is an empty seat.
1 is an empty seat, so you could avoid anyone else.
1 is an empty seat, so you could avoid anyone else and stare out the window. The second was next to a snooty-looking girl that was giving you the up and down. And the third was in the back of the bus between several guys that looked like jocks.
Ooh, do we sit alone? Sit next to the girl or sit with the guys?
I'll let you call this one because I would obviously choose to sit alone.
No, we're gonna sit with the guys.
Oh, really?
100%.
Who are they?
They're the jocks.
I know, I'm kidding.
Oh.
Because you chose to sit with the guy, so I'm pretending to be jealous.
Oh, I see what you're saying. I see. No, I think it just really goes with our character, okay?
Fine, whatever.
Oh, we're good.
And
And
I just hurt my balls. Sorry.
You're gonna go through this whole thing and edit it?
No, we're not editing this.
You said that you were gonna edit
I'm
it.
taking out the background noises. I'm taking out the background noises.
Oh, okay.
Why would
That
we
makes
edit
more
this? This is comedy gold.
I don't know. That's why I've been sitting here thinking of pause on the story. I've been sitting here thinking this whole time, wow, this is gonna be a pain in the ass for him to edit.
I'm not editing. I'm going to take away like the leading
Like the
silence and
airplane?
the setup. I'm going to take away the background noises, the airplane, and the
Okay.
honking and stuff
that
like
makes
that.
more sense.
All of
I
that
was
shit.
worried about it.
But we're keeping
But now
all
my
the
mind
audio.
is at ease. Back to the story. You fluff your hair and strut your stuff to the back of the bus, giving the boys your best shy girl smile. 2 of them smiled at you, obviously giving you the up-down. Thank goodness you wore this outfit and not the other, or they might not be so interested. Looking down at your feet, then expertly peeking up, as if you can't resist looking at them, you give the best, I'm so shy, but I'm taking a risk expression. I'm shy.
I'm shy.
I'm so shy.
I'm not shy.
God. Oh, shit. Wait, my charger came
What's
out.
What have you done?
Can I sit with you guys?
Sure. They immediately make space for me to squeeze between them. You can already feel the other girls on the bus shooting daggers from their eyes.
I'm Lydia. Just moved here. You say in a quiet voice, pulling off your shy girl routine perfectly.
Oh, you're the one that moved into that old house on Flower Street, one of them asks, seeming suddenly more interested in you. It's what you want.
Yep, that's me.
There's a big rumor that that place is haunted. Any spooks creeping around at night?
The way this is spelled. Oh my gosh!
No. You have to say it as it's one word.
That's how it's spelled.
No pauses.
Oh my gosh! Oh my
Oh my-
gosh!
Oh my gosh.
Oh my gosh!
Oh my gosh.
You squeal, slapping lightly at his shoulder. Oh, that's a good move. Oh my gosh! You squeal, slapping lightly
Just
at
hit
his
my
shoulder.
boob.
You're welcome.
Thank
Don't
you.
say that. I won't sleep for a week.
I'll make sure you don't sleep for a week. It doesn't say that. Oh, don't worry. It's just old mumbo jumbo. They reassured you.
Maybe you can get used to this place. The teenage male population weren't bad on the eyes, and the country accents were more endearing than you had imagined. People weren't as honky as you had pictured, but the girls stank of stuck-up southern belles, as Ivy would call them. The bus lets you out at the school. That's our option.
Is that it? That's all we have?
Yeah.
Okay, fine. I get to read this. Me.
Oh my gosh, my stomach just growled so loud.
They heard that. And I'm not editing it out.
I'm hungry.
The bus jolts to a halt outside an ancient-looking high school. Grass shoots up from the thousands of cracks in the asphalt parking lot. The brick walls are bleached a pale orange from decades of sun exposure, and everything looks at least 30 years old. Big letters adorn the top of the entry at the main door reading, Daphne Community High School. Everyone was filing in, some in pairs and others in large groups. It wasn't the most diverse bunch of people you had ever seen, but all the preppy girls had their hair bleached completely blonde. All the preppy girls had their hair bleached completely blonde, or just the top or bangs bleached with the dark underlayers showing through. It actually wasn't a bad look, though your pale skin would never look good if you dyed your hair that dark color.
I feel personally victimized by this story.
The guys are what made you perfectly at ease about the whole moving thing. Only a few of them were unattractive. Well, that's nice. Ivy would be gushing to come visit you once you dished out. Once you dished out the news. Holy fuck, I cracked. I don't know the last time I did that. The inside of the school was crowded with students socializing in the lobby. No one really seemed interested in meeting you, and there's still a good 15 minutes before class. You're hungry.
I know, my stomach keeps growling.
I shall make you food.
Okay,
I shall
do
make
we
you the
sit on a
feast of
bench
food.
until the 5-minute bell or find your first class?
I say we get to class early.
Yeah, I was going to say that too. You walk down the hall spying several cabinets filled with trophies from decades ago and several walls decorated with black and white photos of past students. One in particular caught your eye. It looked oddly familiar.
Dun, dun, dun.
A striking girl with long black hair, hippie bangs, big brown eyes with Twiggy-styled eyeliner, and a big smile. If you had ever imagined a goddess of hippie chicks, that would be her. The day drags on.
Was that your attempt at a low voice?
The day drags on.
The day drags on. Each class is just as boring as the next. You figure that out now. You figure that now would be as good a time as any to read a little more of that journal you found hidden away in the closet this morning. The girl who wrote it, this Cynthia chick, sounded like any other normal girl you knew, just from a different time period. There was just something you really liked about reading another girl's thoughts and feelings as she went through the same things you did every day. It was comforting, and unlike the books you read about such things, it was completely uncensored. Cynthia wasn't afraid to write about smoking pot or drinking underage until she blacked out. It made you wonder if long ago she had been in the same classroom.
Okay. Investigate? Maybe? No, not the investigate. Oh, photograph? Oh.
What?
The date on the back of it is 4567. It says the old photograph is in black and white. The back of it is dated 4567. You notice the date's numbers a bit odd, but shrug it off as coincidence. Diary?
Oh yeah, I forgot we were reading horror.
Oh!
So this is
There's a
gonna take
new
fucking
diary
weird turn.
entry that we're reading. Huh?
Nothing.
I got excited because there's a new diary entry.
I said I forgot we were reading horror, and I know now this is going to take a fucking weird turn.
We'll see. I mean, yeah.
Someone
who
gonna
knows what-
die.
Dear diary. I gotta get my Cynthia character. Dear diary.
You have a Cynthia
how was
character?
I don't remember how I read it before.
Oh.
Mr. Jenkins has been really grumpy lately. It seems like every day in class he forces me to answer his stupid questions even though other people are raising their hands. He knows I'm not good with math, and when I get the answers wrong, he makes me stand on my toes with my nose to a dot on the chalkboard. It's humiliating. I think there must be some sort of rumor going around about me or something. Every time I walk in a room, the girls get quiet and stare and whisper. It drives me crazy. But when I ask Christy...
Sorry.
I hate when you do that.
I forgot.
You forget
I
that I
forget.
hate when you
Yes.
interrupt me?
Oh, I thought you were talking about the thing.
Which was interrupting me.
Yeah, I apologize.
Okay, I'm gonna read now.
Please continue.
It's driving me crazy. But when I ask Christy, she says that she has no idea what it is, and it must just be in my head. I'm not sure if I really like school anymore. Christy is the only friend I have. The other girls I thought were my friends suddenly are ignoring me. Amanda, Bridget, and Lori act like I'm invisible when I sit with them at lunch and pretend not to hear me when I talk. Is there something wrong with me? Cynthia. You close the diary. Geez, seems like you have more in common with Cynthia than you thought. Even now, you could see girls looking at you out of the corner of their eyes, giggling, scribbling on notes, and tossing them to their friends when the teacher turned his back. But at least these weren't people you had grown up with snickering behind your back. They were strangers, and it was hardly personal. The girls treating Cynthia like that had been her friends. You almost wanted to go back in time just to tell the poor girl it would be okay. But those dumb girls would get off their high horse eventually and realize they were just jealous because this Kyle guy obviously was into her and not them. But you knew deep down that if your friends ever did that, it would break your heart. You almost wondered if the grown-up Cynthia still lived in Daphne. End of school day. Oops.
The ride home on the bus isn't a long one, but it feels like it is. You hadn't really felt like sitting with anyone and had snagged a window seat and promptly blasted your iPod in your ears. If anyone tried to talk to you, you didn't notice. All you wanted was to go back to your house and see if you could find any more of Cynthia's secret stashes hidden in the bedroom. But another part of you wanted to avoid your parents at all costs. If Rin was upstairs or outside, they'd probably be brooding like the almost divorced but too stubborn to do it couple they are. They seemed to think that you hadn't heard all the times that they had screamed at each other, but you knew the whole pathetic story. Mom checked Dad's phone when he left it unattended and found out he was fucking some secretary in the office that he worked at. Dad got pissed and spent the night at his new squeeze's house a few days, then came back begging for Mom to take him back. But what he didn't know was that she had had a revenge affair while he was gone. It was some serious Jerry Springer shit.
Oh! That was a juicy one.
Well, that took a weird turn.
Wasn't expecting that.
I'm gonna sit up. Oh.
What?
I'm gonna sit up.
Yeah, you've been slouching more and more.
I have. I'm slowly sinking.
Here's your stop. Like the bus stop. You exit the bus and survey the property around your new house. In the distance, you can see an old ivy-covered building near the back of your property. Of course, there's the upstairs of the house, which probably isn't as creepy since all of Rin's stuff had been put up there. Your room still had potential to have some hidden secrets. It wouldn't be dark for another 2 hours at least. Do we check out the old building, check out the attic, search your room?
Oh, we look at the attic.
Yeah?
We obviously look at the attic.
Oh, shit.
Is this a long one?
Oh. Well, there's a lot of conversation in this one. A lot of dialogue, if you will.
Sorry.
That noise is someone moving their microphone.
I'm moving my microphone.
Okay. You ready?
Yes. Let's do this.
You start walking up the stairs to the attic. Each step creaks loudly, but you are relieved to see the lights are on and you can hear your sister playing. Although you have to admit, it sounds more like she is talking to someone, probably playing with her Barbies. Just as you're about to open the door to enter the attic, you stop and listen to your sister. Look, I drew a picture of you. See, there's your eyes, mouth, and hair. I don't know what color your hair should be. White? Yellow? You open the door, expecting to find that your sister has dragged home a new friend. But she is sitting on the floor, alone, with her crayons scattered everywhere. Little kids seriously creep you out. But it wasn't the first time Rin had an imaginary friend. Still, it was creepy as hell. Who are you talking to, Rin? You ask, almost dreading the answer. My friend. There's nobody here, Rin. She's right here. Look, I even drew a picture of her. Rin held out the crayon drawing of a stick figure out to you. It looked like a typical stick figure with scribbled grass and some forest in the background. Your sister was hardly a Picasso. At least just admit that you have... Oh, there's no quote right there, but it's a quote. At least just admit that you have another imaginary friend. Oh, Cynthia's not imaginary. She's real. You freeze and your skin crawls. No fucking way. It was just a coincidence. Cynthia isn't that unusual of a name, and you are almost certain that Rin used to go to school with a girl named that. Yeah, that was it. It was no different than last time she had one, and her name was Beatrice, which, at the time, just so happened to be the chick you were fighting with over a certain cute boy. Yep, just one big creepy coincidence. What's wrong, Lydia? Nothing, just, looking around. You mumble, taking a quick look around the room. There is a door which leads to Rin's princess-style bedroom and another which is ajar and reveals the bathroom. Nothing else really stands out. We take Rin's drawing. You climb the creaking stairs to Rin's attic space. You discover that yet again she is playing with her imaginary friend, which she insists on naming Cynthia. Your little sister ignores you as you slip into the room. It seems as if she is too engrossed with her conversation to pay you any attention. Time goes by.
A week passes. It is now yet another Friday night, and you aren't sure what you want to do just yet. You could always go into town and see what is around there, or you could go home and see what else the mysterious Cynthia has in store for you via treasure hunt.
Do we go home, go into town, or do we let time pass?
I say...
A week passes, another Friday night.
I say we let a week pass.
Okay. Time goes by.
It's a song.
Okay, ooh. Nightmare number 1.
Oh, shit. Already got the goosebumps creeping up and down. Don't fucking do that!
Your eyes flutter open, groggy yet vaguely aware that you are in your dark room. The crickets are screeching outside, and you swear their singing is about to make your head explode. Don't fucking look at me like that. Okay, that's better.
Thank you.
You-
What?
Not when you say it like...
Nobody say it like that.
Not
Sorry.
when you say it like that.
You want to...
Okay,
Sorry.
you turn to look at the alarm clock next to your bed. The red letters read 4:56 a.m. 456. Like the picture.
Mm-hmm.
The number mocks you from there on the clock, and you glare at it, willing to change, but it seems as if time has stopped. Lydia. You nearly jump a foot off the mattress when your name is whispered in your ear, someone's hot breath nearly burning the tender skin there. You turn to look, but the room is empty. Of course it is. The door is locked, and no one is here. An eerie giggle echoes through your room,
Nope.
coming
Nope.
from the closet.
No.
You can feel cold sweat dripping down your face.
Nope. Bless you. Bless you.
Dang it, I just ruined the mood. I'm so sorry.
You didn't. I'm still scared.
Terrible allergies.
I'm still frightened.
Okay. You can feel the cold sweat dripping down your face. The door is closed, yet you stare at it as if it might open at any moment. You begin to wonder if Ren is playing a prank on you. Prank on you. Someone? That is my prank on you. But it hadn't sounded like her voice when you heard your voice whispered. Turning over, you again look at the alarm clock. It still reads 4:56
Nope.
a.m.
Nope. 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 Nope.
Our option is to go back to sleep.
Yep. I think we should go back to sleep. Go back the fuck to sleep.
A week passes. It is now yet another Friday night, and you aren't sure what you want to do. So do we... It's the same as before. So do we go home, or go into town, or go time? Go time.
We'll go time. Curious to see.
Nightmare number 2.
Ah, shut the fuck up.
I'm gonna read these just because if you read them, you wouldn't be able to get through them.
There would be so much scaredy commentary on these for me. Like,
Yeah.
it wouldn't be fun for anybody but me.
You roll over in your bed, eyes opening as you grudgingly look at the clock.
Already don't
Once
like it.
again, it reads 4:56 a.m. Why have you been waking up every day at this exact time? Not to mention the weird things that happen to go along with it. All the while, the clock never moving forward. Was it all just bad dreams, or was it reality? Dreams reflect reality. You sit bolt upright in your bed and glance around the shadowy room frantically for the source of that eerie voice. No one is there. You were never one to believe in the supernatural, but this just screamed haunting all over it. You could hardly catch your breath as your heart pounded in your chest, the frigid sweat coating your body. 04051967, 040567, 451967, 4567. The whispered numbers come out in increasingly rapid sequence as you froze in your place. Fear made you stiff as your eyes lolled about, trying to make your body move so you could check for where the voice was coming from. Burning heat scorched your belly, and you looked down to see the strange hands wrapping around you.
Holy fuck, don't touch me.
They were pale and gray, as if decaying, yet the heat radiating from them felt like a hot brand. You clamped your eyes shut, refusing to believe this was anything other than a nightmare. But the scalding hot fingers still snaked their way beneath your shirt
Stop touching
to
me.
scorch the skin beneath.
Stop touching me.
Who was behind you? What was behind you? With every ounce of strength in your body, you force yourself to turn around. Your eyes lurch downward and come to focus on what you believe is a head of white hair. It moves and falls apart like a curtain, revealing a sallow face with black eyes. There was no whites, iris, and pupils of the eyes, only black. All of it black. The paper skin over the gaunt cheeks moved upward as if scraping along the bone to reveal the most disgusting smile you had ever seen. All the teeth were rotted and half broken. The empty sockets and the gums leaked black ooze, and it stank of rotting flesh. It opened its mouth, leaning in closer towards your face. You expected it to speak, but a foul-smelling gurgle is all that escapes the rotten mouth. Some of the ooze from its gums bubbles and pops out, burning the skin on your face with the acidic rot. You want to scream, but nothing comes out of your burning lungs. Your eyes tear away from the abomination before you look at the glowing red numbers on the alarm clock. 4:56 a.m. It was impossible. Time couldn't have stopped. Maybe it just seemed slow? Those filthy fingers, which felt like hot coals, scraped upwards, the feeling of jagged nails scratching your belly.
Why must you touch me?
What do you want? It stopped moving and looked up at you with those inky eyes, which seemed to have no lids. It made a noise like the rattling gurgle of a bad cough. Everything inside you was revolted by this thing. Was it even human? Was it male or female? Despite the long hair, its body was wholly androgynous, but it felt evil. Suddenly you felt the thing rush forward, forcing you onto your back with it on top of you. A black line of drool fell from its rotted mouth as it leaned down, the toxic liquid dripping onto your cheek. It felt as if a massive weight was crushing your chest as this awful thing sat on your chest and bent over you, its face mere inches from your own. The stench of it made you retch as it came ever closer. When those chapped lips pressed against yours, you felt as if you were swallowing raw sewage. All the rotting ooze from its mouth poured onto your own as it forced its tongue into your mouth. You bite down on the slimy muscle invading your mouth, but find it especially foul when you break the skin and it bleeds into your mouth. It jerks back from the pain, an angry gurgle erupting from its throat. You spit the filthy slime from your mouth, feeling sick from some of it sliding down your throat. Those inky, unblinking eyes glare at you as the tallow skin on its face twisted into a hideous snarl. It lurched forward, and the most foul-smelling gunk gushed from its mouth and into your own. You thrash and sputter as it covers your face, runs into your nose and mouth, stinging your eyes. Suddenly, the weight is gone, and you lurch upwards, heaving the contents of your stomach onto the floor beside your bed. Had it all been a nightmare? You had little time to think as you continued to dry heave until your body satisfied itself in the rejection of unwanted content. The alarm clock reads 4:57 a.m. Go back to sleep is our option. Okay. Are we going to go into town, go home, or pass time?
I don't like this very much.
Home?
Pass
Town?
time.
Just going to be over with. It's going to be another nightmare.
Fuck. How many nightmares are we going to have?
I don't know.
I say 3. 3 is the magic number.
You think so?
Yes.
Do you want to try to read it? Or?
The knocking behind me is driving me nuts.
Well, then stop moving.
I can't stop.
Your eyes open yet again, and despite already knowing what you will see, you look at the alarm clock. 4:56 a.m.
Dun, dun, dun.
That number is nearly driving you insane, and these nightmares are beginning to wear you down slowly, even if they were nightmares. Oh, if they even were nightmares. That makes more sense. Will it come to visit you again tonight? That abomination with the rotted mouth, inky eyeballs without eyelids, and the dark sludge which oozed from its mouth? You could always smell the thing before it appeared. Yet once it drew near, you would lose control over your body. It was as if it had you under a spell, keeping you from moving to escape its filthy grasp. It never spoke, merely gurgled foul breath in response to anything you might ask. Its skin was always burning hot, enough to hurt when it touched you, but not enough to leave marks. No matter how it scratched, spit, or burnt you, when it left, there was never any evidence that it was real. It had stopped being a thing of fear for you, rather a dread of having to deal with something despicable and unnatural. It never hurt you, although you wished it would find some other object for your desires. Trying to hide behind the blankets.
No. It's you making the knocking noise.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, you're the one who keeps moving.
I'm laughing at you.
I know.
You wrinkle your nose as the smell of rot invades your nostrils. It's here.
That was the thing, not my microphone.
You thrash your head around as the familiar what? Okay. Oh, that's supposed to say loss. As the familiar loss of control over your body sets in, yet you don't see it anywhere in your room. It would always appear where your vision couldn't catch its entrance, always catching you off guard. Intense heat enveloped your feet and you sucked in your breath, eyes looking downward as the sheets near the foot of your bed moved as if something was crawling up from the bottom of the mattress and on top of your legs.
Oh, don't touch me.
The lump moved upwards, and you could feel its scorching skin
bite your hand
through the thin fabric of your pajamas. It felt as if the thing was snaking its way up, stopping at your chest.
I am going to that's a nice ring.
The damp feeling of its drool soaked through your shirt and singed the tender skin beneath. The sheet lifted, and the silvery head of hair peeked out from between the sheets and your chest, inky black eyes staring endlessly ahead. The stench of its rotting teeth and gums made you sick as you watched a puddle of dark drool splashing onto your chest. The sallow cheeks drew back, revealing a filthy smile that was far too big and wide to belong to a human. Leave me alone. The words feel as if they are the most difficult things to ever pass from your vocal cords, and your only answer is a reeking gurgle. Who are you? It hissed in response and sat upright, straddling your hips. The sheets fell around its waist as it began to pull a hand from behind it, revealing the old diary you had found and been reading. Cynthia? It gurgled and trailed a hand down your chest, tracing the contours of your breast and ribcage. What the fuck? What the fuck? If you're really Cynthia, why are you like this? It gave you another rotted smile, then pointed at the alarm clock. 4:56 a.m. You stared at it, then gasped as the number changed to 4:57 a.m., and the weight on top of you evaporated, along with the filthy smell. Was this thing Cynthia's ghost? Then how did she die? And why was she haunting you? Goosebumps prickled your skin as you hugged yourself and quickly switched on the lamp beside your bed. You were completely awake. This had not been a dream. Looking down, your blood freezes as you realize there is a damp trail of drool leading from your pajama pants all the way to a big puddle beneath your chest. This was real. We go back to sleep. Are you okay?
What?
Okay.
I want this to be over.
Why?
I don't like this.
Do you want me to do it by myself?
No.
Can you handle it?
Time goes by.
Nightmare number... Oh, nope. You trudge into your house... This is not a nightmare, by the way. You trudge into your house, followed closely by your friend Blair, just glad to be home from school. Things have been getting out of hand lately. You feel utterly sleep-deprived and paranoid. Perhaps a little girl time will help ease your frayed nerves. Lydia, what's up with you? You've been acting so weird lately, Blair asks, snapping you out of your exhausted stupor.
Oh, now I'm Lydia?
Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't been sleeping well. No fucking duh, Lydia. You admit, indicating the horrible dark circles beneath your eyes.
You know, people have been talking about you.
What are they saying?
That you're acting this way because your house is haunted.
You let out a disgusted snort as you walk quickly into the kitchen of your home. Neither of your parents are home, so you daringly take a deep gulp from the open bottle of Moscato sitting beside the refrigerator. Blair gives you a worried glance, but says nothing as you wipe your mouth and set the bottle on the counter. Why the fuck would people think my house is haunted? Your voice comes out harsher than you meant it to, and Blair visibly flinches.
Well, nobody has lived here for... Wait, where's my charger?
It's over there.
Okay. Well, nobody has lived here for as long as anybody knows of. And before you moved in, sometimes people would break in and spend the night on a dare. They all said freaky shit happened, she mutters, blushing a bit as if embarrassed.
Before you can speak, your little sister bursts through the front door and dashes into the kitchen. Her bus had been delayed, it seemed, but you caught the traces of tears on her cheek. Rin, what's wrong? She stops to look at you, her nose running and eyes raw and puffy. Red and puffy. Nobody believes Cynthia is real. No shit. She's an imaginary friend, you reply, instantly regretting even bothering to ask what was wrong. Are you Rin or am I Rin?
I can be Rin.
You be Rin.
She's not imaginary. I showed you the picture I drew of her, and she talks to me all the time, except at night. At night she says she has to go see you instead. So I know you've seen her. She said you did. Rin's outburst leaves you wide-eyed and staring.
What does Cynthia talk to you about? Blair steps in, smiling sweetly at Rin.
Just stuff. She says Lydia stole her room, but it's okay because she likes Lydia. But she's been upset lately because Lydia has been doing bad things.
What the fuck have I done? You spit, your hand beginning to shake with a mixture of fear and anger.
Cynthia says you're looking for something you shouldn't be sticking your nose in.
Fuck you, Rin. Fuck you and your stupid fucking imaginary friend. Only babies have imaginary friends, so grow the fuck up. Without even realizing it, you realize that you have grabbed your sister by the shoulders and are shaking her violently as you scream at her.
Are you... Okay.
You can be Blair this time.
Lydia, stop it. What the hell are you doing? Blair pries you away from the 4-year-old and you gasp as you realize Rin is sobbing uncontrollably.
What's happening to me, Blair? You ask, a tear beginning to drip down your face.
Time goes by.
Oh my gosh.
Time goes by?
Yeah.
Oh.
Go home.
You want to go home?
I want to go home.
You want... Okay, you decide to explore your house and the property around it. Ooh, attic, barn, bedroom, or garage. Which one?
Well, we've already been in the attic, right?
Yeah.
Let's go to the barn.
You walk through the tall grass and weeds as you make your way to the old building. The closer you get to it, you start to realize that it was probably once a barn. Whatever paint used to adorn the wood had long since chipped away, and kudzu? And ivy vines had climbed over the structure. The door hangs precariously inward, just enough to allow you to squeeze underneath it. As much as you don't really want to worm your way between splintering wood and dirt, you do want to get inside that barn. After you squeeze through the makeshift hole beneath the rotten door, you find yourself amidst a sea of cobwebs. An eagle shaft of light shines through a large hole in the roof where part of the structure has rotted and collapsed. The scent of stale air, dust, and molded hay assaults your nose as you begin to look around. Horse stalls line the walls, and on one side is what you assume was once a tack room. Bales of decaying hay are stacked high in one large space between a box stall and the tack room. The tack room is empty except for several wooden stands which probably used to hold saddles and nails on the wall with plaques above each one. Each plaque has a horse's name engraved on it. The stalls are empty as well, though are certain the doors are rusted shut anyway. Time goes by, is our only option. So now, do we go home or go into town?
I shall leave it up to you.
Let's see what the town... You need to go investigate some areas around town while you have the chance. Thinking about the things you have found so far makes you consider where to go. The church might be a pretty good idea. Cynthia mentions it several times in her diary, after all. After checking the map, you found where you believe the creek is. And of course, there's always the library. They have an archive section filled with local newspapers that go all the way back to the town's founding, not to mention the books. Library or the church?
Library is not the one we should go to.
We already did.
You didn't know it.
Yeah.
Excuse me. What?
You're just gonna...
Yeah, I'm just gonna toot. Yeah, I will fart on my camera, whatever. This is me. This is me. People can see me. I've been waiting for a burp to build up so I can belch into the microphone.
That's nice.
Yeah.
Okay, library. The Daphne Community Library is an old brick 2-story building. A big fountain decorates the front walkway, and a perfectly manicured landscape accents the old Georgian styled library. Inside is well lit and decorated like your old elementary school. Kids' finger paintings are displayed proudly on the walls, and old pictures in tacky gold frames depict what you assume must have once been prominent community members.
I'll show you a prominent.
Do we go to the archive section? Yeah, we go to the archive section.
Of course we do.
Ooh. Do you want to read it?
Sure.
Ooh.
Sure. Archive section. You go to the archive section of the library and begin to look around. There are some large folders filled with laminated pages or copies of documents. You come across a computer, which is the sign reading Daphne Newspaper Archives. You sit down and begin to pull up the program. It seems that you enter in a date or search a keyword, and it brings up scans of old newspapers. You pull up the advanced search page and begin typing in what comes to mind. Cynthia, 1967. You begin the search and find only a couple of articles which apparently match the keywords. You read the first one and are disappointed to discover that although Cynthia is in it, it is merely a piece about the local high school. It would seem that Cynthia was a member of the photography club, and the newspaper had featured their projects. The next one, however, does catch your attention. Cynthia's photo graces the paper, and the headline, "Missing Teen," nearly makes your heart stop beating. You hit the print button, feeling like this is an important piece of information.
You know what else is an important piece of information?
What?
My phone isn't plugged in and charging.
Oh no. Is it dying? Is it dead?
I don't know.
Hold on.
It sounded like a instrument of some kind.
Nope, it's not dead. It's amazing. It is still recording. Dun dun dun. It is now plugged in and charging.
Okay. So we now have a newspaper article in our inventory. Now we click time goes by. Can we look at the newspaper? So this is the clip of the newspaper it shows.
You gonna read it?
April 5th.
Is what I would ask if I wasn't paying attention.
April 5th, 1960. Local teenager Cynthia Malone.
Oh my gosh.
What?
Pretty sure the dog just Dutch ovened herself.
Bexley fart?
Like, can you smell that?
No.
It's very weird that I can and you can't. Did I Dutch oven the dog?
I think so.
I think I did.
Not
even sorry about it.
Local teenager Cynthia Malone was declared a missing person by the Daphne Police Department this morning. She has been missing for 4 days, 5 hours, and 67 minutes. Wouldn't that make it more than 5 hours?
Yes, that would be 4 days, 6 hours, and 7 minutes.
Anyways, we're just going to ignore that. As of the printing of this newspaper. Cynthia Malone was last seen by classmates during a bonfire party at the popular teen hangout spot, affectionately named The Creek by locals. She was wearing a brown sweater and jean pants at the party, which was held on April 1st. Cynthia Malone did return home that night at 45 Flower Street. Her parents, George and Mary Malone, reported her missing the next evening. Police have organized search parties of the forested area surrounding the creek and have also questioned everyone present at the party she was last seen at. Cynthia is approximately 5'8" and 130 pounds with long brown hair, green eyes, and is Caucasian. If you have any information regarding Cynthia Penelope Malone, please report to the Daphne Police Department. Okay. That was the newspaper article. Did we ever look at Rin's drawing? Oh yeah, we can't use that item. Okay. So, time goes by, go home, go into town.
Go home.
Do you want to go to the bedroom or the garage?
We're going to the bedroom.
Oh!
Ooh.
enter your new bedroom and toss the backpack on the floor.
Oh, we've already read this.
No, we haven't. It's been a long day. Now that your stuff is here, it feels a little more homey than before. Your twin-size bed with the violet-colored quilt was in the corner, dwarfed compared to the room. Your curtains look the same as they did at the old house. Your big beanbag chair is exactly where you left it, including a perfect indent from when your butt was sitting on it. Looking around, everything seems normal. But after finding Cynthia's hidden diary, you are painfully aware that she could have found more loose boards or such secret places to hide things. But nothing really stood out to you. The sound of feet running pounded over your head. Ren was playing upstairs. Okay, Cynthia, what else have you got stashed around here? You mumble, starting to sleuth around like a detective.
Time goes by.
Time goes by so slowly.
Okay.
Time can do so much.
Time goes by again.
Are you still mine? Is that the song you're thinking of?
I don't know what song you're singing.
Oh. Home? Let's go home and look at the garage.
Fine.
Oh! Your parents haven't wasted any time piling their junk in here.
Those bastards.
Why didn't they just throw it away before the big move?
Yeah,
I will
fuck
never
them.
understand. But it is obvious that this is yet another family garage that will never house a car.
Typical bitches.
Several tools hang on the walls. You can see a flashlight on top of a workbench and a ladder leaning against the far wall. We have a ladder in our inventory.
We get a ladder?
You decide to explore your house and the property around it.
We've been to the barn.
Should we go back to the attic?
We should go back to the attic.
You climb the creaking stairs to Ren's attic space. She's again playing with her imaginary friend.
We've already read this.
This is, well, no. Yeah, but no, this is different. Because we're there again. You know what I'm saying? So time goes by. So...
Let's go back into town.
Okay, sorry. We gotta play through the barn now.
You've read all of this already.
Yeah, I did.
I mean, we've already been here before.
Okay,
We're not
go into
reading.
town.
This is a real story.
Ooh, now there's a... Okay,
There's a...
okay. I'll read it. I'm getting ahead of myself. I'm excited. You need to go investigate some areas around town.
So you don't mind you touching me right now?
Okay, so we have the library, the church, and the creek now.
We've already been to the library.
Yeah, but now do we go to the church or the
Let's
creek?
go to the church.
Take me to church.
I was about to die, cloudy light. I don't know the words. I'm pretty sure I just say clown of your light.
Okay. There is only one church in Daphne, and it looms over Main Street with absolute authority. You find it a little intimidating, having never been religious yourself. It doesn't feel like any church you have ever encountered before.
Excuse me.
There it is.
Been waiting for that.
There is a sinister air to the Gothic-styled cathedral. And do we go to sanctuary or Sunday school rooms? Definitely sanctuary.
Definitely sanctuary. That's where all the ghosts are.
The sanctuary inside the church is filled with rows of church pews, hideous old blue carpet, and a pretty typical pew with a place for the choir to sit behind where the pastor preaches. Your family has never been a church-going sort, but you had always thought that a church was supposed to be a place to feel safe and secure. Somehow, the empty sanctuary feels gloomy, if not borderline sinister. With no light except the distorted sunlight coming through the eerily beautiful stained glass windows, it is very dimly lit. For a moment, you take a seat on one of the pews, taking a moment to reflect on everything that has been happening lately. Time goes by.
Imagine me reflecting.
Okay, we're gonna go to the... Oh, should we go to the church and go to the Sunday school rooms?
We should. We should finish this shit up.
Sunday school rooms. Are you having fun or not?
Oh, yes. No, I mean get out of the church.
Oh, you mean finish the church?
Yeah, I mean finish the church
okay.
thing.
You walk along the dark corridor, peeking inside each empty room as you pass by. It all seems very repetitive in appearance, except for the room numbers and eventually the water fountain, marking that you have actually not been going in circles. Time goes by.
Time goes by.
So now we go to the creek.
Now we go to the creek.
That covered the church.
Just in case y'all didn't hear her.
The creek.
I hated that.
I know.
So much.
You find yourself standing on the bank of a creek. The walking path from the park led you here. Perhaps this is the party spot Cynthia spoke of in her diary, or maybe it's just one of many creeks in the area. The grass is overgrown and the trees sway sleepily in the breeze. An old fire pit with a ring of rocks is in a clear area, but it doesn't appear to have been used in years. A large oak tree looms out over the creek, a rope tire swing hanging from its massive limbs. Can we use the ladder to go on the rope swing?
Perhaps.
No, we cannot.
No, we cannot.
Okay, well, we tried. Time goes by. Okay. Do we go home again or try to do
Time goes by.
Okay. All this time you had been painfully aware that things in Daphne were not right. There had always been something strange that nagged at you, yet never before had you been able to put a finger on it. But now you had a good idea of just what it was you needed to look into. Sitting on your bed, you shift through Cynthia's diary entries and all the strange items and information you had uncovered in your time in this little town. Staring at it wasn't helping you come to any conclusions, so you decided to look into it personally. After all, seeing someone or something incriminating with your own eyes is far more informative than 40-year-old information.
Yeah, she's barking in her sleep and moving Lyndon's head.
You know what you have to do is our option.
I don't know what we have to do.
After reading Cynthia's diary, how frightened she was by someone following her, things were starting to piece together little by little. What? Oh. Wait, there's a new entry. Dear diary, they know. They know I've been watching them. I have to get away. I have to get away before he comes after me. My dreams, I keep having the same one. If it even is a dream. I don't know what it is and isn't real anymore. It makes no sense. I'm not crazy. We have to... The diary ends mid-sentence. No more entries can be found.
Goosebumps!
You felt like you had a very good idea of just who the stalker was as your hand gripped the photograph of Cynthia, which she had marked on to show the figure of a man behind her. In her diary, Cynthia had mentioned a Kyle Jenkins. There had been rumors about her and him along with his friends, not to mention the vivid nightmares she wrote about it. It was as if the oblivious young girl in the past was sending you a message from beyond the grave. It certainly couldn't hurt to check in on this Kyle Jenkins. Use the phone book to look him up.
Of course we do.
Flipping through the phone book, you quickly find his name. A satisfied smirk crosses your face, thankful that he had not left town like so many people probably had after their high school days. Pulling out a pen, you write down his phone number and address on your arm. Kyle Jenkins, 451 Iris Flower Grove. And there's phone number.
Phone number.
Do we stake him out or Google him?
Oh, we Google him for sure.
Google first. Okay.
It's 21st century. We Google that shit.
A quick Google search leads you to a few minor news articles, which you quickly check in on? Sure. Turns out he was questioned by police about Cynthia's disappearance in 1967, but had never been considered a suspect. Clicking back, you scan some of the stuff that you don't need. Then you come across one of those public records things, which informs you that it knows everything. There's some typos about Kyle Jenkins, including his current place of work, but it will cost you $2.99 for a 24-hour trial. Do we pay it or don't pay it?
We pay it. We steal Mom's credit card and we pay it.
Oh, okay. Okay. So we pay it. You type in your debit card info without hesitation and return to the information page. Now you have access to a detailed report about Kyle Jenkins, including criminal records.
We got the bastard.
Kyle Jenkins, date of birth, 6/7/1949, 6'2", 245 pounds, Caucasian, current residence, 561 Iris Flower Grove in Daphne, current phone number, current employment, Daphne Community High School janitorial staff.
Got him.
You blink in surprise. Kyle Jenkins was the janitor, the creepy man with the piercing blue eyes that always made you want to run the other way. In the back of your head, you hope he had been more attractive in the 60s. That way you wouldn't have to doubt Cynthia's taste. You quickly print out the valuable info.
We got the info.
Now we go stake him out.
Let's.
That's our option.
Uh-oh. You crept increasingly closer to the house, which matched the address according to the phone book. It was fairly normal looking compared to the other houses on the street, but you had to wonder if the street name was supposed to be ironic. Iris Flower Grove had no flowers on it, and nothing about it reminded you of a grove in any way. You crept increasingly closer to the house, which matched the address according to the phone book. Wait.
What?
It's the same line.
Where?
This first line here, you crept increasingly closer. You
Oh.
crept increasingly closer.
I was fairly known to be looking for Just start here then.
Okay. After finding out that Kyle Jenkins was the same janitor that had been giving you the creeps around school, you only felt more apprehensive about this whole thing. The way those icy blue eyes bore into anyone they looked at, like a hunter sizing his prey, had been the first thing which made you somewhat afraid of the man.
Ooh, you spot movement.
You spot movement.
That's our option. I spot movement. The front door to the house opens and you hold your breath as Kyle exits the house. To your surprise, you instantly recognize him as the school janitor. The very janitor which had given you the willies since your first day.
Unsurprisingly. Surprisingly.
No, it's supposed to be surprisingly.
Yeah.
Surprisingly, he forgoes his car in the driveway and begins to walk down the sidewalk. You wrinkled your nose at the food-stained shirt, which had a filthy sweat stain on the back. The man was obviously a slob, and if you were lucky, he was just as careless as a criminal. The front door of the house opens and you... Oh. That's the same line.
It's the same thing.
Same line. Okay, follow him.
You are careful to stay out of sight as you stalk along behind the man whom you are almost certain abducted and murdered a girl you had come to appreciate over the past few months. If he was as attractive in his teens as he was unattractive in his aging state, then you could almost understand why Cynthia had a crush on him for 40 years ago. If he was a senior in high school some 40 years ago, then he had to be around 50 or 60 years old, right? Would Cynthia have been so old as well? It was hard for you to picture Cynthia as anything other than the beautiful young woman in the photographs you had found of her. You tailed the man for almost 30 minutes without being noticed, until you begin to recognize the area ahead of the two of you.
You were approaching the creek.
Dun, 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 dun. I forgot how you do it. Gulp. It felt strange to know that you were now walking in a place where Cynthia had attended a party over 40 years ago. You could almost picture a bonfire in the old, overgrown fire pit. Beer kegs in the corner and some guy with a guitar playing the guitar while people passed around a freshly rolled blunt in a circle. The light was beginning to fail when you suddenly realized you had spaced out when considering Cynthia in the past. Kyle Jenkins was nowhere to be seen, which immediately made you feel uncomfortable. The only place near here that you knew of was that strange cave. Maybe he had gone there. After all, you had never spent much time exploring it. What if Cynthia's skeleton was somewhere deep inside that cave?
Oh! Check out the cave.
Of course we check out the cave.
You slowly make your way through the dark underbrush of the forested area surrounding the creek, heading towards where you know the cave is located. In the failing light, every shadow made you jump in paranoia. What would happen if Kyle caught you snooping around here? Would he know that you had followed him? You mentally kicked yourself for letting him out of your sight in such a dangerous situation. Finally, you came to the mouth of the cave and stared at it for a moment. No one seemed to be anywhere in sight.
Now, I know what you're going to pick here. You're a cautious motherfucker.
Oh, I was going to go inside.
Oh.
Our options are go inside or watch out for Kyle first.
Let's just go inside.
Yeah.
It'll all be okay.
You crept out of your hiding place and walked slowly towards the cave entrance. The water trickling past your feet was the only sound in the silent forest around you. Everything felt as if it might jump out and bite you as you fought to control your paranoia. Pressing yourself against the mossy rock of the cave opening, you squeezed through the crevice. From the outside looking in, the opening appeared too small for the average person to fit through, but it actually began widening immediately. You were even certain Kyle could have shoved his way through the narrow opening. The inside of the tunnel was pitch black, and you couldn't see anything. Use your phone for a light, or keep going in the dark?
Keep going in the dark.
Really?
We don't want to call attention to ourselves.
Okay.
You don't dare risk anything giving away your presence in the cave. See?
Good thinking.
It was far too dangerous. Instead, you carefully prodded the ground with your feet before each step and felt along the wall with your hands. If Kyle Jenkins was still inside this place, he wouldn't see you. As you draw near, you are surprised to find that you can only describe as a room. an old candle sitting in a large stone in the center flickering lazily, only having burned out through halfway. The yellow wax had dripped down onto the stone, mixing with the melted guts of candles which had lit this place in the past. It had to be the single most creepy place you had ever seen. It had an odd smell to it, a mixture of damp earth, bodily odors, and human shit. It made you pinch your nose as you slowly came to a halt in the center of the room. In the dim dancing light of the candle, you could see something strange hanging onto the stone of the cavern wall. Your curiosity piqued. You stepped forward to better examine the strange object. Upon closer inspection, it appeared that someone had bolted a heavy iron eyelid onto the stone and a very short rusty chain hung from it. The wrist cuffs on either end of the dangling metal. With wrist cuffs on either end of the dangling metal. It made your blood run cold. Anyone restrained by these would have had their arms held up above their heads as if they were sitting, and if they tried to stand, it would pull them into an uncomfortable crouch. I can't read that far away. What exactly had gone on in this place? Sorry, my eyes are straining to read that from that distance.
Yes, it is kind of far away. Sorry.
Yes. I am
also,
just.
It's written kind of.
And your screen brightness is low.
It's okay. Someone is coming. You hold your breath as the sound of heavy shuffling footsteps echo down the stone corridor. Makes your heart flutter and adrenaline flood your brain. There's nowhere to hide. You turn this way and that, trying to keep your frantic breathing quiet. The only place left to hide was underneath the bed, which was shoved against the wall. Huh? I thought we were in a cave.
We're in a room.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
You crawl underneath it, fighting the urge to throw up as you encounter crusty tissue paper and brown-stained underwear. But it was better than being caught. You scoot all the way to the wall, trying to get as far out of sight as possible, and not a moment too soon. A man enters the room, a lantern in his hand. He sets it on the wooden table and lights the cave. You can see his feet as they move towards the trickling water on the far wall, but you didn't dare attempt to glimpse his face. The creak of rusty metal made your ears ring as you clamped your hands over your mouth in an attempt to force silence upon your breath. You slowly realize what he's doing, opening and closing those rusty shackles which you had found bolted into the stone of the wall. He just stood there. You could tell by his feet that he was swaying unsteadily. Scream!
That was a very good sound effect.
He opened the shackle. He closed it.
I just want you to read that little part again.
No,
please.
Listen a moment.
Okay.
You don't know how long it went on. You don't know how long it went on, but you felt as if you would die of a heart attack. Finally, he moved away and sat upon the bed. The springs coiled downward, the shape of his ass pressing the box springs down in front of you. He dropped a box down on the floor in front of the bed, his hand opening it, and began to sort through its contents. His hands were worn and wrinkled, covered in age spots and white hair. The hands were gnarled, as if he had arthritis. His hands moved back up, a handful of photographs clutched in their grasp. A few of them fluttered down, landing on the floor. He made no move to pick them up, instead laying back on the bed. You reached forward for a picture which had fallen under the bed. Surely he wouldn't miss just one. Looking at it, you had to clench your teeth so as not to make a noise. Cynthia. Her wrists were in shackles and she was naked. Blood and bruises covered her, and if not for her smudged makeup, you might not have recognized her bloodied face. Her eyes stared right at the camera, hate filling them. Unlike the other pictures you had found of Cynthia, this one was in color. It was very old and faded, but you could see that her hair was actually brown and not black. A tear rolled down your cheek, this girl that you felt so close to, the one who you had been investigating all this time. She had slept in the same bedroom long ago that you did now. She had gone to the same school. She had loved and lost, felt anger and sorrow. She was like a reflection of yourself in a strange way. Cynthia had affected your life before you even fully realized the extent of it. And now you had the final piece of the puzzle. The wheezing old man lounging on the bed you were hidden under had done something to Cynthia. He had stalked her, kidnapped her, held her captive in this awful place. And then he had killed her. And now he was breathing heavily as he looked at the photos of Cynthia and possibly his other victims. How many girls have you done this to? Over the course of some 40 years. You had to escape. You had to. For Cynthia. She deserved justice. This man, he deserved to rot. He deserved to be exposed for the sick fuck he really was. You lay there, waiting for your chance to run. Finally, you get it. A loud snore tells you that Cynthia's killer is asleep. Carefully, you crawl out from under the bed as quietly as you possibly can. Standing, you turn to look at the man on the bed. Kyle Jenkins. The janitor from your school lay there on the bed, photos of his various shackled girls scattered over his chest. You clench your fist, a mixture of rage and fear boiling up inside you. Had he been following you as well? Had he been what you had felt staring at you when you thought you were alone on the road? Or had it all just been heightened paranoia due to reading Cynthia's diary? You pick up the box filled with the horrible photographs and turn to leave as Kyle sleeps. Epilogue. You go to the police with Cynthia's diary, the box of pictures, and all the evidence you have found. At first, they don't believe you. But then the detectives start to connect the dots. The clues you found mixed with the evidence from several unsolved missing persons cases proves the janitor's guilt. The janitor's name was Kyle Jenkins. However, you were surprised to discover that Cynthia was not a murder victim. Rather, in 1967, she was admitted into a mental health facility and has lived there as a patient ever since. However, with the evidence you have found, it proves that she did not simply have a mental breakdown. Before you can visit the facility, you receive a phone call. It is one of the doctors which works there, calling to inform you that Cynthia successfully committed suicide earlier that week. But, oddly enough, she had written a letter addressed to you, Lydia Snow. You drive to the facility in order to retrieve your package, the sickening feeling that you were too late to save Cynthia overwhelming you. The doctor shows you to the room Cynthia lived in the past few decades and hands you the envelope with your name written on it. He leaves you there alone, not bothering to question how Cynthia knew you or anything else for that matter. That was my stomach.
That was your stomach. It was a ghost.
You look around the room and feel that tears come to your eyes. Everything is barren and white. Even the bed is nothing more than cold metal with white sheets and restraints peeking out from beneath the box springs. She had secretly stopped taking her medications, instead hiding them in a small tear within the mattress. When she had saved up enough, she took them all at once during the night. By the time they found her and realized she had overdosed, it had been too late to save her. Cynthia had died here, in this room, all alone. A little sob escapes you as you open the envelope. The familiar handwriting greets you. It was just like how she had written in her diary so long ago. Lydia Snow, I know you found my diary, and you want to help me. Help me. Sorry. I saw you in my dreams, and it speaks of you sometimes. It's losing interest in me. But you need to forget about me. You and your family need to get away from Daphne before it's too late. If they find out you are looking into me, they will come after you. Have you seen the numbers, Lydia? 0405196745196745670400567. 0400567. The numbers. They found you, didn't they? They found me too, a long time ago. It's all because of the numbers, Lydia. They are the gateway. They are its harbingers. Once you see the numbers, it visits you. Has it visited you yet, Lydia? You need to leave Daphne before it's too late. Kyle was just one of the Hydra's heads. Don't be like me, Lydia. It caught me, and I'm afraid it will come after you now that I'm gone. Please forgive me and Daphne. Please save yourself, my sweet Lydia. Love, Cynthia. Your blood runs cold as you read Cynthia's letter. It sounds indeed like her mind had been broken, but even if that was true, how did she know your name? She had died before you had found the evidence, and no one else knew what you were doing at that time. What was this it she spoke of? She said that it had told her about you. All you know is that after everything you have been through, you aren't going to doubt Cynthia now. You have to leave Daphne, with or without your family. Congratulations, you have found one of Daphne's secrets and survived to talk about it. But it seems there are missing pieces from the puzzle. What are the numbers? What is the mysterious it Cynthia speaks of? And who is they she also mentions? And if Kyle Jenkins wasn't alone, who else is to blame for the crimes against Cynthia?
Use the ladder. Use the ladder.
Why?
I don't know.
It's the end of the game.
Use item.
cannot be used. In-game and leave comments. Oh, that was it. See, it wasn't as bad as you thought it was gonna be, was it?
What the fuck was the ghosty thing on the chest? I don't think that was Cynthia. It couldn't be.
It
One,
was the it.
because Cynthia wasn't dead when that started. Yeah. Goosebumps all the way. Goosebumps all the way down to my ankles. My feet don't get goosebumps, but they are all the way down to my ankles. Yes, did you have fun?
Yeah, it was
Sorry,
fun.
I'll get closer to my mic. I'm glad you enjoyed it. Next time we're reading a happy story.
Okay. Cool. I like this one. I guess I don't know. You could have dragged it out a lot more. Maybe. No, I think we clicked through all the options eventually.
I believe we did.
Just not in the right order. So
Probably not in the right order.
I think. Yeah. Apparently there's like different endings. Oh no, it says only got one. I'm reading some of the comments. Cool.
Are you
It
ready?
was a little like there were some inconsistencies, there were typos and like stuff like that. But
There were a bunch of typos, but that's okay.
overall,
Good
pretty
story.
cool. It makes me want to like create one.
Oh, you get to create one.
No, I mean I'm sure I could. I just don't know how.
So.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
Cool. Very cool. That was fun.
Are you ready for me to cook dinner for you now?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm so tired, but I will cook dinner for you.
You don't have to cook.
Well, what are we gonna do if I don't cook?
I'll cook. Something.
What?
If you don't want to cook, I'm gonna cook and eat because I'm hungry.
Oh, well, I'll cook
My
for you.
stomach growled this entire freaking time.
I know, mine did too.
Okay.
Okay, I'll
That
cook
was
for
fun.
you.
And
And cut.